Welcome back everybody to Riley Reloaded. Today we have another discussion video where I take a member from my community and we just kind of talk about the state of Destiny 2, how we feel about the game and the direction that it's heading in. And today we have UltimateArbiter in the game, who is mainly a Destiny 1 player, giving us some opinions on Destiny 2 and what he thinks about the game as a whole. But I hope everybody's having themselves a good week, maybe month, maybe year. I don't know when my last upload was. My upload schedule is about as consistent as my trials, KD. Don't look it up. But if you like this sort of thing with the discussions, leave me a comment down below, and you never know when I might pick someone from my community here to come on and share their thoughts of the game with me and make a video on it. But before we dive into the video, I wanted to tell you guys a little story about a raid encounter I had. So, your boy's been grinding out Deepstone Crypt, just trying to hammer out that Eyes of Tomorrow. I'm on my 15th run, and there was this one run, probably about my 14th there, where I decided to take Disseus Jin with me. But Disseus Jin, the luckiest bastards on this planet. I don't know why, but he's got some insane luck of the draw. In this run, I was feeling it. I was feeling like this was going to be the Eyes of Tomorrow run. Disseus Jin got my Eyes of Tomorrow, and now I cannot raid with him until the balance has been restored. So I started running some other raids with some randoms on my other characters, and they kept calling me Daddy Riley and telling me to say words. And that was a new experience for me. I don't think I've ever been in those shoes before. But anyways, that's all. That's my story. Let's get into the video.
I'm just glad to have this opportunity, honestly. I love talking to, smaller YouTubers and trying to have them help me out as well as, helping them out. So,
You're trying to leech off of me? You son of a bitch!
I love more, community-focused, YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that one. But let's jump into the first question here that I have. So, for everyone to know, how long have you played Destiny 2 and Destiny is across the entire franchise?
This was 2016 of early December, and I started then. My friend recommended it to me, and he's like, yeah, it's gotten a lot better. And of course, Rise of Iron was out, and everybody was stoked and ecstatic, and I got into it and just really wailed into putting hours into it. And that was all I would play, and I was like, wait, dude, this game is actually kind of good. I don't know what people are having gripes about. First of all, half of those reviewers haven't even finished playing the game. It's I can't I can't recommend watching reviewers anymore because of stuff like that.
Journalists are terrible with that sort of thing. They love to just kind of throw up reviews that are half-baked. You need to play a lot of a game to get a full understanding of it, and they just have to pump them out so quick.
Yeah. Dude, I know, Destiny can be tedious, and I get, why people wouldn't like it, but for me, as, a video gamer, I love it. I absolutely, enjoy it, the mechanics and the gameplay, and, how it's futuristic mixes with fantasy. And then I started playing the raids and stuff, but I only really got through Wrath of Machine. If I did any of the other raids, they would have been just the bosses. I was only able to get bosses most of the time when it came to LFGs. So yeah, and so Age of Triumphs came along, and I did Wrath of Machine, and I met a really good friend that helped me raise my light and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, I'm way higher light now. And then I finally reached 400, and we went to Minecraft and celebrated and stuff like that, and it was a big moment for me. And D2 comes out, and I'm still playing D1 at the same time as D2, and I was really looking for the Sojourn boots because I'm a hunter main, and those were my favorite looking boots, and I was like, man, I really want those, and I got them immediately a week after D2 started, and I was like, are you kidding me? So I just kept continuing playing D2 up until about Shadowkeep pretty much, and then I started doing some of the seasons. And then I kind of just fell out of it after that and went back to Halo and stuff because they started doing a bunch of seasons. So that would be a small version of my Destiny 1's and Destiny 2 story. So
yeah, I'm with you on a lot of that. Rise of Iron was such a neat DLC for me. People didn't like it too much.
Beautiful. Yeah,
they got hammered pretty hard by reviewers and all that, but It was one of
Yeah,
my
I know. Like I
favorites.
said, finish the game, and like you find out that Galahorn is actually still part of like the main quest line. Like I feel like if they would have made like the game a little more accessible, I feel like people wouldn't have hammered into the story so much. Like I said, I truly felt like an Iron Lord once I got that quest done, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is.
That's one thing I miss about Destiny 1 there, because you
Yeah.
had this solid sense of the game actually progressing. So the more you played
Oh
it,
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
felt like you were getting stronger and you were taking on like harsher and harsher things. And in Destiny 2, it feels more
Oh
like
yeah.
things are just
Yeah.
kind of happening around me. Before it was like you were the kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
badass soldier, and now it's like, oh, everyone else is too.
Well, that was one thing I never understood about Destiny either. Like, you still kind of had that in D1, but it felt weird because I was like, wait, I'm the best guardian, but so are they. Like, I'm confused. How does the
Yeah.
lore work? Like, and like canon wise, yet you're the one that does all these raids. Like, you're the only one, and I'm like, what?
But I
Huh?
gotta say, like, my favorite expansions and like time periods in Destiny as a whole was Taken King was my absolute favorite. That was I do
Oh,
love
really?
Rise of Iron,
Okay.
but Taken King, I
Yeah.
loved how the Hive were actually kind of scary. It had so much content. It was a big
That's what
drop.
I don't like.
You don't like the scariness of the Hive?
No, I don't like scary. Like I'm not like a big like scary guy. Like I like, I like the beautiful colors and like the majesticness and like, the magistry of it all. It's like that's why I kind of liked like D1 vanilla a little bit when at least when I got to it. Cuz like I said really felt like I was playing in a fantasy game of some sort. So, and that's another thing that D2 is missing. I don't feel like I'm, in a fantasy anymore. I don't know if it's just because like it has that like Halo 2 effect on it, like, or it's like the story's amazing, but suddenly I don't feel like the atmosphere is there.
But I do know
Oh,
that the
really?
whole
Okay.
story through all of Destiny 1, like everything from the beginning all the way to the end, I loved how the atmosphere was going. I loved how, the enemies felt like they were threatening and they were on you. And I also loved how
Yeah,
you actually
yeah.
felt strong and powerful and like you were doing the things that no one else could because everybody else was like
Yeah, yeah.
I miss that sort of feeling, and I miss story nodes too. Like that's would solve so many problems when it comes to like difficulty and stuff like that. Because with Destiny now,
Yeah.
you can't replay content when it's vaulted; it's gone for good. Whereas before, you could get the story that you actually paid for, and you could go back and replay it and like relive those
I
moments.
know, like even like vanilla D2, like they would only let you play the missions like side by side to each other. And, like you couldn't choose whatever order you wanted to do them in. Like you had to go to Ikora that only had story missions, and that was it. Like
Hmm.
and on top of that, they took away the really cool armor that you could get, and I was missing like two armor pieces by the time they had taken it away. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I paid for this shit. Like they're just doing what they did in Vanilla D1, like where
Yeah.
they like hide content behind paywalls.
Beyond Light was a very big kick for me when I was playing it because I
Oh
thought,
yeah,
they were hyping up the darkness the whole time. They're like, "Oh, it's coming, the big enemy that's been
yeah,
like foreshadowed since Destiny 1." And then when it
yeah.
gets here, it's like
It's
one of
just
the
like
worst
falling in
arrivals.
ice.
Yeah, fallen ice and then the
Yeah.
darkness is just like sitting there in a corner because they didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
and I'll tell you, my friend Locust Killer, he hates multiplayer now because it's like it's just all like ice now, and it's just like, dude, like this isn't fun like at all. Like
Mhm.
supers used to be cool. Like when you die by a super, you're like, are you kidding? Like you would get like excited and stuff like that. Now it's just like,
In PvP in
uh,
Destiny 1, it was actually so good because while there
it
were
was
some
solid.
broken
Yeah.
things, it was still well-rounded and balanced enough to the
Oh
point where
yeah.
everything didn't feel cheap to get killed by.
I know. That's one thing I really like about it, and it has a slower pace to it. I'm pretty sure you kind of transitioned that, that nice subtle touch there. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but
Nope.
yeah,
Me do something on
yeah.
purpose?
That was one thing I wanted to get to, because I gave you like a list of questions.
Mhm.
You don't have to do it in this particular order, but PvP in Destiny 2, like holy crap, like I don't know what happened. They only have two modes, two gameplay modes, and that's it. Where's Supremacy? Where's Rift? Oh, Rift especially. Like first time I ever played Rift, like I said, was very late into my Destiny career. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually really fun. Like, I'm actually like getting really good kills because everyone's like focused on like the objective, and I can just swoop into the objective and go get it. Like,
Took more chances with game modes, and that you could do. There
yeah,
was more stuff to do. It's like in the old
yeah.
Halo games. You had so many different ways you could play it.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, dude, like they did a much better job with Halo 1 on multiplayer, like than this. Like,
And the
Halo
maps,
1 was actually fun.
oh, the
Like,
maps are so bad in Destiny 2. They're just 3 lanes, and
yeah.
the spawn points are so bad because people will spawn behind you while you're fighting.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's
that's
like
not,
Bungie just
no,
completely
that's.
forgot how to balance a sandbox or do anything like
I
that.
don't. Well, that's the other problem with like, I think that's the other problem that people have with like Destiny in general is that it's not like the sandboxy gameplay that everybody remembers from the Halos 1, 2, and 3, where you had like this chess piece gameplay and like you would have enemies like in different locations and like, some would be above and like below and stuff like that. I remember watching the gameplay trailer for D1 and they actually had that stuff in there.
I think
I'm
originally the Taken King was supposed to come out with Vanilla Destiny 1, but they just had
really.
to nix it because there wasn't enough time.
Oh wow. Huh.
I think so. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I seem to recall something about that. Like they had Taken King content like ready. And they were gonna like mix it in with like the main storyline. I know the Traveler was technically supposed to be evil, and like that's why like all the darkness was coming in and stuff like that.
Oh, really? I never heard about that. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Um,
I wish they didn't go all
oh,
the what do you call it, T for teens route, because they could have told some like much
yeah, they
darker,
could have like
realistic
they
stories.
could have done a much like better. I think there are some really good rated T stories out there, and you just need to try because the problem is you can't do darker content.
You
But
really have to
that's
put an effort when you go T for
yeah,
teen.
I wouldn't like make a story solely reliant on darker content either. Like there are plenty of good like great stories out there that
It's
it's
possible to tell those stories too, but I think what do you call it? Like Rise of Iron was a good mix there too, because you had like the
yeah,
Siva
that's
was
why I
taking
loved it.
down
Yeah.
Iron Lords, and it was
Oh
like
man.
showing how like it was an actual threat, and it was
Yeah.
threatening, but it didn't have to go like super dark, gloomy, depressing. Like it was.
No, but it actually showed everything. Like, it actually showed like what it did and stuff like that. And it was visual, and that's like as an artist, like I love stuff like that. I love like the white like snow mixing with like the red glow of the Siva and stuff like that.
Oh, I love the
Just like the
Siva.
game is so pretty. Yeah, I know.
I've been waiting for Siva
Like
stuff for ages. Give me a
I
season of
know.
Siva, or no, stop the
I
seasons. Just give me a Siva expansion.
I know, right? Like again, this is the problem. Like we're craving Destiny 1 content. And here they are taking away like all the Destiny 2 content and giving us like very bare bones stuff,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's just
like I would
like,
be okay if they brought back the Destiny 1 content, but they brought it back full fledged. But we're getting like Destiny
yeah.
1 content drip fed and half baked. Like it's
I know, and I'm like, dude, like, why? Like, everybody asks for it, but I think that's the problem. Like, we should have been asking for D2 content, and like, that's the thing. If you want to play Destiny 1, go back and play Destiny 1. I need more people to play this game, and I feel really bad because I kept playing like Halo 5 and stuff like that, and that's all I would play because like it was the first time I ever got yeah, I feel like they just don't care anymore. I feel like they kind of just like lied to us once they like, they were just trying to like trick us or something like after they got rid of Activision.
everyone was
And I
praising the leaving of Activision, saying it'll be a new
yeah,
age. We're all
oh, it'll
hopeful.
be
I was one of them.
better. Yeah, no, like yeah, I know. Like I was into it too. I was like, wait a minute. That's gonna be great for Destiny. They're finally getting rid of Activision. Like, oh my gosh.
It's like you've kicked the devil out of your
Um,
house. You did good, and
yeah, but I think they've been with the devil for so long that they kind of, like
right after they
the.
got rid of Activision, they went and accepted money from I don't know which one. It might be Tencent, but it is one of the worst companies out there in like China that they could have paired with.
Oh
It's like, why
gosh.
do you guys keep
Oh,
getting your hands on,
stop. Like, yeah.
why do they keep going
Yes.
for that money? I absolutely hate so many of the things that Bungie does for
Mm.
their fan. Like I can't stand
Oh, I
people who are
know.
on
Yeah.
one side of the coin who are just praising them for the stuff that they do, like the unrelenting. Like if they do something
Oh, I
bad, they
know.
can't see the bad side of the game.
I
But I'm
know.
also on the
It's all
other side of
about
the coin
the
too, where it's hard to see like
yeah.
when they put effort into something where you constantly hate the negative aspects of it. Because there are things in here that I say that are redeeming qualities. Like there are stuff in Destiny
Oh,
that are
I
good.
know. Yeah. Like that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I know I like to talk a lot, but obviously we're
No,
here to both talk. Like,
that's what an
yeah,
interview
like,
is. Light it
yeah.
up.
I know they worked really hard on like, back in the day with Halo 2 and stuff like that. And they produced an amazing story, but like crappy, like legendary. I don't know what happened to Destiny here. Like, especially when it came to D1, like the content was very lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can see like why, like, I understand why people don't like Destiny. It is very like it's a very time consuming game too.
I try
I
to be
know,
somewhere in the middle. Like I don't want to be the
yeah,
guy who's just always negative and like
I
complaining about
know
the game.
that's why I want to play Destiny because like I really like like I want to support like the fact that they actually did kind of make a good game,
Mm,
and this is another reason why I'm done with like reviewers and stuff like that is because like I just like they're always negative. Like there's
yeah.
never a single good thing. They're never gonna agree with me. There are people out there in Bungie that actually do care about the fans. But you got this like CEO side of the business, and like everything's just kind of like doom and gloom, and
Yep.
they're only trying to provide for like the upper man. Like it's like, hey, here's your money. I made this game. Go ahead.
I feel bad for the developers there because they're probably ones who actually care about the game or want to make something neat,
Yeah,
but they're just strong armed into making stuff that whatever
yeah,
the higher ups are saying. Like it
yeah.
goes
I
with what you were
know.
talking about earlier with Martin O'Donnell there, how they're just treating their
Oh,
own
I know.
like Martin
I
O'Donnell
want
isn't
to play
just
it. Say, yeah.
he isn't just like a Bungie employee or something like that. He was one of the original people who
He
founded
was one of
Bungie.
the original that literally helped create the game so much to the point of iconography. With the music, like I
Hmm.
mean, heck, and even helped with some of the story and stuff like that. And like the stories that they had for like creating the game, and like he was the audio director back then. Like
Yeah.
they didn't even have those back then. Like
He has a legendary legacy when it
yeah.
comes to making that, and Bungie is
Oh,
just
I
so
know.
quick to try and just like shoehorn money out of
Stomp
him.
on him. What? Just because like he posted like beta content for the music for Destiny 1, which
Yeah,
they're not even working on anymore?
sharing some of the stuff that he was proud to be a
Like
part of.
yes, like and first of all, that's his music. Like he made that. I'm not happy right now with them, and that's why I haven't like bought any of their seasons as of late. Like, cause like I said, that was like just my cutoff point. Like I was just like,
Yeah, I don't like the seasonal
I'm
model in the
done. Like,
slightest.
yeah. Yeah, no, like I think Halo does it much better nowadays. Like I think Halo has like the best seasonal content right now.
I feel like I'm a relic from a dying age when we used to
I
get
know.
expansion passes and now it's all just live
Yeah.
service. You didn't have all this like Eververse stuff now because like Destiny 2 is basically just
Uh,
Eververse. Like they want you
you
just to
know,
spend more money than actually
I'll tell you
earning
a
new
secret.
content.
I actually don't mind buying Eververse stuff in D1.
I don't either in
Like,
Destiny
yeah,
1.
like, yeah, like, cause it's already there. And it's like, dude, like, well, this game doesn't get enough support anymore. I might as well give them a little bit more money. Like,
Well, if you give the money to
yeah,
to what do you call it? You buy it through the Eververse. It's probably just
yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
to supporting Destiny 2's
Xbox,
development over
yeah,
that.
yeah. I feel like, yeah, because you're buying like silver coins still, like, or
Yeah, and
whatever.
those
Yeah,
probably go straight to Bungie, so but when I say I
yeah,
didn't mind, like, buying the Eververse content, I find that, like, if you're in a world that you enjoy and you spend a lot of time
yeah.
in there, you can it's okay to spend a bit of money to, continue to exist in that world and buy some things
I
that
just
makes you
wish you
feel
could know
nice.
what you're buying. Like, that's, without paying a bit too much. Like, because like they do charge a little too much like silver dust for for like I think it's like 25 silver dust just to buy like a sparrow you actually
Mhm.
want, like, like from Eververse, and I'm like, geez, okay.
I think if you can
All
buy the
right.
stuff you want there and you pay for it, as long as the price is okay and you're okay with that
Yeah.
price, then
Yeah.
that's fine. But in Destiny 2
Yeah.
here, it's to buy one armor piece is where I live in Canada. is about
Oh, I know, it's like
$10 or so.
$10. Like, yeah, they're like, I'm like, geez, man, like, why does it cost so much? Like,
Yeah, just to get one
like,
skin.
um,
It's just seeing how far they can push the monetization, which ties into
I
what I was
know.
talking about Bungie there. Like I have gripes with the studio because of how
Oh, I
the
know.
actions they're taking lately.
Everybody talks about like, like how they like hate the microtransactions and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you complaining about it when you're the one buying this shit?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
pretty
your
much.
problem? Speak with your wallet, not with your mouth. Like,
That's
and
the
nobody
Destiny
does
player's
it.
problem.
That's
That's
yeah,
big.
and that's why we still have microtransactions because nobody listens.
And that's why they make
Yeah,
content that's like that, because it's easier to make
exactly.
content that appeals to those players than to appeal to a wider base. They're only going to speak in the money
Yeah,
that they lose.
and I feel like I'm still somewhat causing the problem sometimes just because of that. But like, it's like I don't get into it nearly as much as like other people do.
I
Once
can't
again,
say I'm a saint either.
yeah,
I have so many ornaments in
yeah.
my library,
I
man. I have
know.
a So what would you
Oh
like to
man.
see in the future when if they decide to, what would you like to see from Destiny in the future?
Like just fixing the game or just like just in general thing, if they could just take all the cool stuff from Destiny 1 and then like put it in Destiny 2 or something like that, or at least like go back and fix Destiny 1, then I'd be happy, like, like
For me personally, what I would like to see
yeah.
would be more meaningful loot, not just loot that's going to get demolished. Tightening up the
Oh yeah.
sandbox, bringing everything in line with itself, because we are really powerful now. So I'd like to see
Yeah.
the exotics that are on the bottom get brought up, and the ones that are at the top kind of be leveled out.
Yeah.
Split the
Yeah.
sandbox for PvP and PvE, because they're like the sandbox for PvP in Destiny 2 is just terrible. Destiny 1
Oh
was in
yeah,
that
I
sweet
know.
spot. Another thing that I hope that they do there is that they tighten up the narrative, and they put more emphasis on story and try to stay away
Oh
from
yeah.
vaulting a
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's I like I would say at the same time I like the atmosphere of D1 as well. Like, D1
Hmm.
had atmosphere and story, even if the story wasn't great,
You
it
felt
was
like you were the
still
last hope of a dying
fun. Like,
race.
yeah, yeah, it was still fun. Like, um, and once again, if they add Clamber into D1, that would be just awesome.
That's it.
That would
They
make
made the
things like
game.
so much. Yeah, like, well, honestly, like that actually does make things a lot easier. I don't like skill jumping. Like, I hate that.
How many times I've missed my warlock jump and
I
just
know,
slowly
right?
fall, watching the ledge go
Um,
past me. Like, no, come back. All right. Is there
oh man.
anything closing you'd want to say?
Hope
Yeah,
this
I hear
doesn't
you.
turn more into a Halo conversation than a Destiny conversation.
Yeah, we just completely scrap it and jump to Halo. We're like, we're done with this.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe we could have that talk sometime. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I would love to just sit there and talk about Halo.
You seen how hard it was for me to get on this? I am
Yeah, I know,
terribly
right?
lazy.
I am lazy. You don't understand. Well, they say doing the right thing is never easy, and you're gonna feel more satisfied for doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's why whenever I talk
I-
about anything on there, I sometimes get a lot of like dislikes and stuff like that whenever I talk about the
yeah,
state of or how I feel the game is going. But I feel it's more
yeah,
better for me to just put everything out there 100%, honest up
yeah.
front, so no one has to.
Well, yeah, and that's why I feel like it's nice that you do this sort of thing where you talk to other people about it and like get an actual person's opinions instead of like seeing a person that just sits there on the computer waiting to troll people. Like, like
Yeah,
I feel like they don't have their own opinions. They just like sit there and wait, and they just like, they just bash on everything everyone likes to do. So bad. Like,
do you
it's
have
just
any
like,
stuff that you'd want to plug?
I honestly like the Halo comic I'm working on probably. I hadn't, I didn't know if you were gonna let me even do that or not. Like, I was like honestly kind of like scared, like, cause like a lot of content creators out there like you're just leeching off of me, and like,
I'll make that joke, but if anyone,
yeah.
everybody who watches or hangs out with me, this channel is not really like I'm not really a good content creator.
I like that. Like, honestly, I will from here on out continue to watch your content as much as I can. So,
Thank you.
like, I'm working on a Halo comic, and it's actually based off of the games and like just like adding to the lore. but what I'm doing is like taking out the lore and adding it into the games, basically. I'm basically doing what they did for the Zelda comics. Yeah, so honestly, if I can get as much support as I can, I'll try to like give you a link for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you got a link, send it my way, and I'll throw it down in the description. So if anybody watching, they want to check out Arbiter's stuff, you can just find the link in the description. I love arts and stuff like that, so to see what you can come up with. Make redo every one of my thumbnails.
No, I know, right?
For free. I'm not paying.
Yeah.
Say to everyone who watches this in one phrase.
Oh, Destiny!
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on, Arbiter.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.